wanted to do a quick video on some of my lock picking and locksmithing tools. First, we have my main picks. These are mainly Peterson with a couple home brews in there. The pick case was made by Ed Smiley. Have some gems in the Electroless nickel, a few different picks in the government steel. These are two home brews, various tension wrenches, Peterson pry bars, a couple basic tension wrenches and some home brews there. The music wire ones I made myself. This is a Chris Wingate hook that was made for me several years ago. Two Peterson gems that I've filed and sanded down a bit. Those are really my go-tos. These are the Peterson Slenders, which have bent quite a bit, but I still use them. The only rake that I really keep with me, which is also a Peterson, and then a Sparrows short hook there. And this is my original pick case. This is the Sparrows Sherman case. It has mainly HPC and Sparrows picks in there, and several more tension wrenches, some rakes here, a couple Petersons, Sparrows rakes. These are Locksmith Army picks that he made a while back. That's a Peterson quad rake, Peterson diamond. These are all Sparrows. And these are all homebrew picks that were made for me by various people. This wooden one was made by Naza. It's a beautiful pick. These brass handles I made at work, and then made quick picks like Bosnian Bill showed, but just hooks and regular picks, not dimple picks. Alpha Blue did send me this. This is a dimple pick with an interchangeable handle, but I really don't work with dimple locks. Very cool nonetheless. The homebrew picks I really don't use because I don't want to break something that somebody else made for me. Let me move these over here. Next, my DeWalt drill. It's an 18-volt cordless hammer drill used for installing locks, removing locks, drilling things out when I have to. This is a DeWalt drill jig for installing normal locks that we have here in the United States. This is really great. I use this many times. I had installed a whole bunch of locks in my cousin's house. It came with two hole saws. The arbor recently broke, so I bought this whole set. This is the Locksmith hole saw kit made by Morse. This is U.S. made here in Ohio. Covers various sizes, 7/8 up to 2 1/8, so pretty much all the sizes you would need to install a lock. Two different arbors. It's just a generic case that I had from some other equipment, but it fits everything in there pretty nicely, and you can take it around. Then this box here is my main rekeying tools. Key rings, all different parts. It's a 4-in-1 key gauge, Kwikset, Schlage, Weiser, and Westlock. Have various Medeco springs and pins there, various tail pieces, cams, some Kwikset parts, various plug holders for working on the cylinders, parts for different Corbin locks. These are all different size plug followers. Sorry, these are all 1/2 inch for standard locks, but they're all the ends are a little different depending on the lock I'm working on. These are all either smaller or larger followers, generally for Corbin locks, the large ones, which are 0.550. This one is 0.495, which is for Arrow. Needs a little bit smaller of a follower. And these three are for Master and American padlock. These are some top covers for Corbin locks, but I use them for various brands. I just bend them to fit and hammer them in the vise. These are all different key gauges for measuring keys. Just different brands there: Sargent, Arrow, Schlage, etc. Master padlock. That's a Medeco top pin spring installer. Schlage cap removal tool, very handy. Beats using a screwdriver every time. This is some interchangeable core stuff. A couple punches for driving pins out. A little testing tool for testing padlocks. and a drill jig for when you have to drill core out. Then in here I've got a small pinning tray, various Allen wrenches for taking padlocks apart. This is a staking tool for putting the caps on Sargent cylinders. Normally I just use a pin punch. In here I've got tweezers and screwdrivers, retaining ring pliers, some larger followers. Probably have 5 different pairs of tweezers, but I really only use one. It's always hard getting this stuff to close. Now, the majority of my work is at the bench, so I don't really have to worry about taking things with me. But this case will travel. It's got a little hasp down here so it can be shut. Some different sprays that I find really handy. Canned Air for blowing chips out, Lock Saver, Medico Lube, and Houdini, which is really a cleaner, degreaser. Then here are my interchangeable core tools. This is for capping the cores, and this is for decoding when you punch the pins through. Let's see if we can get this out. Use that little tool to punch the pin stacks out, and you open this up and you measure the key with your calipers. You use a nice set of digital calipers here, and then you can figure out the pinning. Use a couple programs to determine the pinning for the interchangeable core. These are all different pin kits. Sargent right here. That's my go-to. Lab mini kit. Couple master padlock and security pin kit. Also a Schlage kit, some more Sargent parts, and the bottom is an Arrow pin kit, and more Sargent parts there, keys, extra cylinders, tail pieces. Then over here is my key machine. This is viewing it from the other side, but you get the idea. Bench grinder for deburring keys, grinding metal, that sort of thing. And most important, my vise. And this block we made, this is for holding the Schlage knob cylinders. You put the cylinder in there and then clamp it in the vise. That way you don't scratch the cylinder when you have to put the top strip on. Nice, nice to have. That beats using a rag or just clamping in the vise. All kinds of screwdrivers and pliers here that just come in handy when working with small parts. Over here is just the keys, mostly keys for my locks, and some more parts up here. Screws for tail pieces, depth keys, parts for American padlocks, small format cores, Sargent cylinders, some more parts here, and a few more miscellaneous boxes. But that pretty much covers all the tools. Most of the locks I can take apart with a screwdriver, plug follower, and tweezers once you get it open. But it never hurts to have more than you need. So thanks, guys.